Hello, everybody. I'm back with my scent of the day, and it's actually a cool day in the summer here in the Northeast. And I recently got some fragrances from some independent niche houses. One is Gallagher, that's based in Texas. And yesterday I got some from Happy Land, and I was going to wear one of the Happy Lands today, but then the weather sort of became this cool overcast weather for the summer. And in the Gallagher's, Daniel Gallagher was there. He sent me Carpe Cafe, uh, and I wasn't expecting it because I didn't think he had it anymore, or he had samples of it, or I would have ordered a sample actually, but I didn't know he had samples, and he sent me a sample anyway, and I was glad that I got to wear it. I was thinking I was going to wear it in the fall because it is a coffee, and just the whole thing about niche fragrances or niche fragrances. I would call this a niche of a niche, because to me a niche fragrance is something that's not popular or not a smaller house. So that not everybody knows about it. Like everybody knows who Dior is, and everybody knows who Chanel is. And, people, and you can have one or you can have 20, but they know these certain ones. But not everybody knows who the Creeds or the Parfum de Marlys. So some people call them niche, and then as you get into fragrances, you learn, well, they are niche, because not everybody out there knows who they are. But in here, the people that love fragrances, if you start loving fragrances, you get more than a few. You're probably going to get some from those houses. So to me, they stopped losing that niche level, and I wanted things that were a little smaller houses. These really independent people who are just starting out and getting their things. Because I like wearing things that are unique, because I wear them for myself too. I still go back to all those ones that are popular and mass appealing, because I do want to smell nice to everybody. But sometimes I just want something that makes me different, something that not everybody's going to like. And this is a perfect example. I've mentioned in some of my other coffee ones I've done how Mrs Fritz has an aversion to coffee. She does not understand why anybody would make a fragrance with coffee. She's like, no, get that crap away from me. I don't like it. I drink coffee, but I don't like it on you. And that was her reaction to this today. I came down and woke her up actually and said, oh, smell this, doesn't it smell good? And she's like, get away from me. And then she figured out it was coffee. She's like, why would you put that on? So she really has an adverse reaction to coffee. She just doesn't understand why someone would wear that on their skin. On the other hand, I'm a fragrance lover, and I actually like the smell of coffee on my skin. Not, I do like it, and so that's why I was glad he sent this to me. And I have other coffees, and the thing about this one's really really unique. They're all unique. All the coffees are unique, and I have a few videos out there. I have Intense Cafe, and in Intense Cafe from Montal, I say it should have been named Intense Rose, because you could barely get the coffee. I just get the rose. I get all that stuff. I did one actually by Happy Land. I have these 6 Happy Lands that I got yesterday, and one of the ones by Happy Land, which they have one called Cure Coffee or called Cure Cafe. I don't have that, but I got the Ohm for the holidays, and that's a coffee, but it's a coffee maple, and I have a video up on that, and I really like that. And then I really like this too. This is a unique one, actually. It's called Carpe Cafe, and Carpe means seize the coffee. So they really, this is really a coffee fragrance, and not only a coffee fragrance, it's a Colombian coffee fragrance. And there's not too many other notes that go with this. There's Colombian coffee and vanilla on the top. There's Fir and Cypress in the middle, and they really do play a part in this. And then there's myrrh. There's amber, sandalwood, and labdanum, and that's it. That's the listed notes. And they all work well together, but you never miss the coffee in this. This coffee is Juan Valdez coffee. This coffee is Don Pablo, and they're 2 good Colombian coffees if you're into coffees. That's what this is. It's a really good, intense coffee smell with a vanilla to bring that out. So it's almost like what they would call Cafe Americano, which is coffee with cream and sugar. And so that vanilla sort of adds some sweetness. But as I mentioned, those other notes in there, the fir and the cypress, which are similar type smells, they're coniferous trees, and they, you may not be able to make them out unless you know they're there. But as it starts to dry down, you do get it. You do get that little green poking up, like a green coffee bean. That little green, not a roasted coffee bean, but the green from that fir and cypress. You get little sparkles of that. And at least I do, because I saw the notes there. And my mind starts to try to smell those notes. And that's why I sort of can get them out there. And with the myrrh, so that's also one. And then there's that little, like that ambery stuff with the amber and the labdanum and the sandalwood, which also smooths it out again. And it's a really good journey. For me, I like it. I know Mrs. Fritz doesn't like it, but I'm going to wear it again. I'll pick my place and my time like I did today. But I will definitely wear this again. But I may not get a bottle of this. Well, first of all, I may not get a bottle of it because it's discontinued. And what Gallagher calls it is vaulted. So it may or may not come back. That's what he says on his website. When he discontinues something, he calls it vaulted. Like he may bring it back, he may not bring it back for a special thing. And they all have to do that. Even big places, they discontinue things. We talk about that all the time. Like this fragrance is discontinued, this one, get it before it's discontinued. But everybody has to do that. Small companies have to do that, and larger companies have to discontinue stuff. And so they do. The good thing about the independent ones, though, is sometimes they'll bring it back. If they have loyal customers, and sometimes they just want to do that, and they do bring them back, and that's a good thing. And even some big ones do it. Some big ones reformulate and do that and come back with it. So that's my scent of the day. It's Carpe Cafe. I'm glad I got it. Thank you, Daniel, for sending this. I really appreciate you putting it in my order. I wasn't expecting it. And like I said, it really is a good journey. And those other ones, I mentioned the Home for the Holidays. I really like that too. And the Intense Cafe, like I said, it was a rose, and it was a challenging rose for me. And as I thought about this being intense too at Carpe Cafe, I didn't look at the notes right away, and I thought, oh, maybe he'll put a rose in it. But I knew he does rose better. So to me, he does rose better. But there's no rose in this. Like I said, there's no rose to make this even something. This is all about the coffee. The coffee is there, all about the coffee. And for me, that's a really great thing. So here's my cup of coffee, and I'm drinking it, and I'm smelling like coffee. I'm a happy guy. I mentioned a funny story. I mentioned 2 days ago when I did the 14 sprays that I had something on. It was also a niche. Actually, it was a niche fragrance. And in that, they described it as reminding them of a place, a teen hangout. And in that type of smell, they didn't want it to smell stale, but they wanted to smell of beer in there and all that. So I was going to this meeting where I couldn't smell like beer. But the meeting I was going to, I went back today, and I can smell like coffee, because in the meetings I go to, you put your buck down and you can drink as much coffee as you want. So that's a good thing. And anyway, so this is a really good one for that meeting. I didn't mind smelling like coffee today, except when I woke up Miss Fritz and said, hey, hon, how do I smell? And then, I got to get away from me crap. So, but when I came back, I'll say this. When I came back, she still didn't like it, but she gave me a hug. She loves me. So no matter how I smell, she loves me. So anyway, with that, please pray for peace. Please be kind to people and help be kind to people. Oh, one last thing. I'm in my picture. I'm wearing this, and it says, his fight is my fight. And the reason I'm wearing that's for my great nephew, Christian. And he was born with a childhood heart defect. And so when you see these things I'm wearing, that's what this is. And this is the Childhood Heart Foundation. And this is the month they do the walks and all. So that's why I'm wearing this. It says, his fight is my fight, CHD for Childhood Heart Defect. And if you could please keep him in your prayers, I'd appreciate it. And all kids that are born with a childhood heart defect, it happens to a lot of families. Keep the families in your prayers too, because it's tough. When you have a child that's born when you find out when they're infants they have a heart defect, it changes your life as parents. And so I just hope you keep all those parents and all those children in your life. And my little Christian, my little great nephew, he's a fighter. He's a fighter, So he's a real heart warrior, and he fights really good. And so anyway, thank you, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.